I picked up a girl on a lonely road, and I haven't slept since. This happened a few weeks ago, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I'm a 32-year-old guy, and I was driving home from a late shift. The road I take cuts through a long stretch of forest, no streetlights, no houses, just trees for miles. It was pouring rain, the kind that makes it hard to see even with your wipers on full speed. That's when I saw her. She was standing on the side of the road, soaked to the bone, with her thumb out. She looked young, maybe mid-twenties, with long, dark hair plastered to her face and a tattered white dress clinging to her. Her bare feet were covered in mud, and she hugged herself like she was freezing. Every instinct I had told me to keep driving, but then she looked right at me. Her eyes were wide and scared, like she desperately needed help. I couldn't just leave her there. Against my better judgment, I pulled over. She didn't say much, just opened the door and slid into the passenger seat. "Thank you," she whispered. Her voice was soft, almost fragile. I asked her where she needed to go, but her answers were vague. "Just down the
Something
road," she
about the
said,
whole thing
staring
felt
straight ahead. Wrong. The car felt colder than it should have, even though I had the heat blasting. I tried to make small talk, asking where she was coming from or why she was out here, but her responses didn't add up. "Nowhere important," she'd reply, or "I'm trying to get home." There was something off about her, something that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Then, out of nowhere, she turned to me and said, "You're kind." Not many people stop. Her eyes caught the glow from the dashboard, and for a second they seemed to bright, almost glowing. I gave a nervous laugh and said, "Well, it's raining like crazy. I couldn't just leave you. Double quotes. She tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable, and said, "Kindness can lead you to dark places." Her voice was so soft it barely registered, but it sent a chill through me. I didn't know how to respond, so I kept driving. A few minutes later, the air in the car felt heavy, like something shifted. I glanced over at her, but she was gone. The passenger seat was empty. No sound, no movement. She had just vanished. Panicked, I slammed on the brakes and searched the road behind me. There was nothing. No sign of her, no footprints, nothing to show she was ever there. I haven't driven that road since. I don't think I ever will.